This episode of Broken Bones and Bullshit is sponsored by Ozcan Rule. So my next guest is Clint Kelly. Bull fought for a long time. Too many titles to count. Welcome onto the show, mate.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me here.
So, did you start off bullfighting or you used to ride?
No, I tried to ride. I wasn't it wasn't that good. Just growing up, going through high school and stuff like that, trying to get on junior bulls and rookie bulls and out west. I'm from out in Western Queensland, Cloncurry, so a lot of bullock rides and stuff like that. You know, you just try your hand at most things, and we were just sort of kicking about and trying to win a bit of money at each little bush event and stuff like that. But yeah, more just doing it for fun, mate. We were just having to go at anything really. I got on a couple of horses and stuff like that. But
cool.
Yeah.
Did you come from a rodeo family?
My mum's dad, my grandfather used to rodeo a little bit, bulldog and stuff. Ab Teese. He was a Teese from up north, and my dad used to get on a few broncs, nothing major. And my older brother, he could ride them all right too. But yeah, just other than that, mate, no real serious rodeo background.
Yeah.
But yeah, just always working out in the bush and chasing cows around. That was all my dad did, and that was all I did on days off, on my school holidays. So that's sort of...
So always been exposed to it a little bit?
Yeah, mate, yeah, just, from a young age, school holidays was just out chasing cows and drafting and branding calves and stuff like that. So I was sort of got an idea of how they worked and how they moved. You pressure them a certain way or whatever. You could read them a little bit, so always had that.
And did you find that made it easier when you did start fighting bulls?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you had some cattle sense?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah. So I experienced fellas that I've worked with fellas fighting bulls that come without any cattle sense, and you can just tell straight away. It takes them a lot longer to just get it. Like you can do certain things with certain animals that and I sort of was lucky to pick that up at pretty young. Just getting the cattle sense of how to get about them a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's the fellas back home. Like, if I have any young fella that wants to do it, I say, go up to a station. Work on a station for 6 months.
Sale yards or something, just to get around them.
You'll learn pretty quick.
Yeah, hunt them up, learn how they work, pressure them, and, just get a read on them. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the main one. Yeah, just know when you can sort of back off a little bit, and you don't have to hunt them around and chase them 100 mile an hour all day, every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I had I tipped these young bulls I had just the other week.
Yeah.
And we backed and they were proper hot, and then backed me trailer up and then let them into the yards. And the way my yard's set up, it's not great if you're just jumping them off the trailer. You just got a fella holding the gate back onto the trailer. And this thing, he was hard to get into the crush, and I was like, I wanted to be on him.
Yeah.
So I was sort of a bit too quick behind him. So he felt me there, spun round and just zeroed in, caught me flat-footed. I'm like, fuck, I'm no bullfighter. And so I just shuffled back, and I got into the gap in between the gate and the trailer. And my mate that was helping me, he got nothing to do with cattle. He's from Bendigo. He's just lived in town.
Yeah.
And he got scared, so he just stiff-armed and wouldn't move the gate. So I'm wedged in this gate, and this bull's just hit me and went straight over the top of me.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, that's lucky.
Yeah. And then he's like, what are we going to do? We're going to go and get him? I was like, with little Mickeys like that, once they lose it, there's no point. I'll get him in the morning when he calms down a bit. And things,
let him cool down.
that feeling of getting caught flat-footed is always...
Oh, mate, yeah. I've been there, countless amount of times. It's the worst feeling in the world.
And it's
all you see is a couple of feet going.
It's a humbling sport because you'll do them things like I did, and I know better.
Yeah, like now.
I knew in real time what I was doing was wrong.
Yeah.
And then it just come, and then it actually went wrong. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So, what year was it you started focusing on the bullfight?
Well, I first was only exposed to it sort of we went to a bush rodeo out near home, and I was trying to ride bulls at the time, and just they were only herd bulls, you know. Like it's just a bush road. It's just a weekend for families to get out and you know do a bit. But one of the fellas who I knew, he worked on a few properties around the joint too, and he said, "Oh, come out and give me a hand," sort of deal. And I was like, "Oh yeah, right, yeah, I'll give it a go," sort of, you know.
Yeah.
And I was little bit lively back then. Like I was playing a lot of footy and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
So I didn't mind. I was you know 15, 16, whatever I was, and yeah, got out there, and as soon as it's totally different environment than what I was used to, like standing on the back of the chutes or over on the rail. You're standing out in the front, and you got the judges and all that, and your shoot boss, and you're like, geez, like it took a bit of getting used to, yeah. And I'm out there with me shorts on, and I was like, me footy boots and that. And, but yeah, no, mate, ever since that day, and like I said, they're only herd bulls and stuff. They were just jumping and kicking, and we were trying to run in front of them and turn them back and muck around. Yeah, they weren't. Nah, they were trying to get down with their mates, and they were just leaving them down at the back of the pen, you know. Just keep going, and they'll get too many and they'd hunt them away, you know, get them out. But yeah, from that day, mate, I think they said, "How much do you want for doing this?" And I said, "Oh, but I was just a kid. I was like, oh, don't worry too much, you know." Said, "Oh, do you want to do Quamby next weekend?" Yeah, right. I'll do it again. Yeah. So it just sort of flowed on from there. And after Quamby, so they had a couple of more, not hookier bulls, but they were a bit more sap about them. The bulls at Quamby, and I was sort of getting around them a little bit more and getting used to it, like grabbing them on the head and on the ear and getting a bit closer to these sort of animals that you never would, like even a herd bull, you know, out where she never really rub him down too much or whatever. So after that, mate, is Cloncurry Rodeo, which is pretty big in the pro scene. So it was rolling along. It's not too many weekends after Quamby. So I think I was talking to Mavrin Renfrey or something like that at the PO at the pub one night, and he said, "Oh, you should get onto them. They might be able to set you up with a shadow job there or something." And he's got a few connections, Mavrin, and I said, "Oh, yeah." And I wasn't really taking it too serious. I was just like, "Oh, I don't mind it," but I was just doing it for the, you know, fun factor. Yeah. And luckily enough, Daryl Chong, who was doing Cloncurry, we grew up with the Chongs, mate. We were sort of, pretty close family. Yeah. So he sort of got in contact and he said, "If you want to do it, I'll sort it out." And we did it. And mate, first time I was standing out there and I seen a bull with horns, totally opened my eye, and you got to deal with it. Yeah, and you got to deal with it. And there was a few times that back when the shadowing days, you know, you try not to get in their road too much. The fellas that were doing it, but yeah, that was the sort of initial step. And I think I was about 17. Yeah, about 16 turned 17, and then after graduating school, got on a bus and come to Rocky for a job, and that's where it sort of took off. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've moved here full time, like.
Yeah. So me and another mate, Todd Renfrey, Mavrin's younger brother. So we got on a bus from Cloncurry, went to Townsville, and drove up. Another bus and got up. Worst time of my life. I said I'll never get on another bus again. And then we ended up getting off the bus here and started a job out at Blackwater underground mining. Yeah, so bit different environment to what we were used to, but
you're still doing that now?
No. So I did that I think for 7 years, but I'm in the railway now, so I'm carting the coal instead of cutting it. Yeah, but
can't stay away from it.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, it makes the world turn around here, especially central Queensland. But yeah, so we had Jason and Troy Mara and with our crew underground, and we were sort of living with them, working with them, and mate, everything was just, that was when it really kicked off. Like that was rodeo, you know, real
all
rodeo mentality.
Thinking about.
Oh, we couldn't drive one of the cars underground without Jason, like turning the corner. You know, like it was it was sort of that mentality.
Yeah.
Every weekend when there's something was going on, and we were all travelling, going around, and I sort of started in the CRCA just around the central area, central Queensland area, and I was just happy just to keep ticking along, and got a few shadow shows for pros. Like I did Emerald, I think was my first one here. Emerald Easter weekend pro show. Did that, shadowed that, and got approved for the pros, and sort of just slowly ticked over to the end of the PBR sort of side of things, yeah.
And you were telling me before that getting into the PBR, it all sort of flowed on pretty quick?
Yeah. So initially, I did a couple of because I was approved for the pros and won a buckle with the CRCA, and so I sort of knew I could handle it in a way. And then when I owe a lot to Chongy, Daryl Chong. He sort of got me into the PBR. He was there and sort of put his faith in me really, because no one knew me. No one knew what I could do really, other than the local fellas here. And yeah, then it worked out that
So he stuck his neck out.
Yeah,
for
he said, give him a go, show you what he can do. And I had a lot. Obviously, I was only a kid, really, like just green, lot to learn, lot to, but I was willing.
Yeah.
I had at that point that mentality that I wanted to do it, and yeah, I done 2 or 3 PBRs. I done Mount Isa on my 18th. It was the Mount Isa show weekend PBR, and that was the weekend I turned 18. I'm pretty sure, or not, something or other. And,
wow! So you were that young when you got into PBR.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they invited me to come and do Townsville.
Wow!
And then after Townsville, I went all right there, so it was a good weekend. And that was when I first met Mitch, and I done it with Mad Dog. And so Mad Dog to me at the time was, I've known him through family as well from being at West, but being out there doing the same job as him, and I'm in the same arena, it was pretty surreal, at the time. And
someone you looked up to.
Definitely,
for a long
yeah,
time.
mate. Yeah, well, everyone knows he's a household name, like in rodeo, sort of. And yeah, that was when I first met Mitch Russell, who you had on not long ago, and we've been mates ever since. Yeah, so
he's
that was
a
over
good fella, right?
over 10 years ago now. So
Yeah.
Oh, he's legend. He's a real good fellow. Rusty, yeah.
So you were telling me before about now with PBR bullfighting titles, they've changed the structure of them?
Yeah. So when I think the year I come, I'm not sure who won it that year. It could have been Rusty for all I know, but he's got a couple to his name. But
10 of them.
Yeah. Then the next year, me and Mitch and pretty sure Lincoln Brown, and I think Mitch won it that year, and I'm pretty sure the next year was when Jared won it on his own.
Yeah.
And so Jared won it. I was out injured that year, and then that following year, I think it was 2000 and it'd be 18 or 19 by this time. And then they said we're going to change it to the team.
Yeah.
So
everyone that gets picked for finals.
everyone, if you're good enough to make it to the finals, and it was the cups at that point, so you did a couple of events,
Big events
leading up to Townsville, and if you're good enough to make it in that team, you're good enough to be crowned the champion team. So and that's we all jumped on board like that. We all agreed that it was the best for us because it just took all the individuality out of the the tokenized title or whatever, and
stops guys from trying to be too showy and
took everything out, mate. Like it just you experience it throughout your career. A fella's trying a little bit too hard, doing a little bit too much, or cutting fellas off, and there was just a little bit too he wanted this title, obviously, mate. It was you could tell like
obvious.
he's trying to show that he's trying to show vote for me or whatever, and so it just took all that out of the game, and it just made it like just the team dynamic just blew up then. Especially I was lucky enough to experience it in real time, and mate, I had some of the best teammates I could ever ask for because I solely reckon that they should have done it. They should have done it a long time ago. Well, it'd be interesting to see if the other associations do change it because essentially you're our team. There's no, you're not competing against him, and if you are competing against him, that's a bad it's not a good thing to have. So.
And it's one of them things. If you grab the best guy from every association and got him to fight a finals, 9 times out of 10, it's probably not going to be the best thing because they don't know each other.
That's right.
So
the dynamic's not there.
Yeah.
So the teamwork wouldn't flow on, and that was the big thing with me and the fellas that I got to work with was we were just so worried about like just working as a team and not being in front, not being in the wrong spot because we wanted to keep it flowing and keep it neat and keep it pretty and just do the job, and when you had to get down and dirty, like we would. But yeah, you see, it's easy to stuff up like just that because they like to use 3 or 4 a lot, and it's easy to get in front of the wrong bloke, and you end up tripping over, and things go south pretty quick. Yeah, from nothing.
Yeah, because I don't know, but my mate Josh O'Reilly, he's bullfighter down south,
Right,
and doing good things, working with Luke Rosetta.
Yep.
And he come to America and fought at the Kansas City Outlaws training camp.
All right.
And it was the first time that he'd worked with 2 others,
Okay.
a team of 3.
Yeah.
And he said, dude, it's just everything's so different.
Yeah.
Because like normally when you're working with 2, you got to
Yeah,
wait
no,
to work. But he goes,
Yeah.
and he's like, I feel like a goose because I'm getting caught.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know
He's just
when
not
to
used
go.
to it. Yeah. It took some working out, mate. Like we sort of I was used to just the 2, just doing your radios. You know, you'd always have
the pros only
have your 2.
2.
Yeah, you'd always just have 2, or like if you're doing a big show, Mount Isa or something, you might have 3 there. Or, I always had 3 at Mount Isa. I did it for a couple of years, and but big arena too. You know, different story when you got 3 or 4 in a little arena, and then we sort of used to work it like. You just use the 2 anyway. The third bloke would sit out.
Yeah,
and
just
then
in
he'd
case
just
it
come
goes
in.
bad.
Come in. But now it's sort of in recent times you just have that third bloke. He'd just wander in towards the end of the ride, or if there's a hang up or whatever, obviously. But just to have that shot because the bulls are that fast and that, as you know, they're that fast and athletic that he's sort of got to be there for that shot. Just in case, if he gets thrown straight out in the back end of the arena, you got 2 bullfighters at the front of you.
Yeah, not much good.
There's not much that they can do, so he's just got to creep out and make that triangle just in case, just to have that shot and get through, and then it all just blends in after that. Yeah.
Because I was speaking to a bullfighter when I was in the States at the outlaw camp, and they really get in and fight them. Like even once they throw them off.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you did that in Australia, people would be pretty upset.
Yeah,
because it's more leave them alone, especially in the pros.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to him. He goes, no, well, their theory is if you come in and you keep them close.
Yep.
So then once you straighten them up and then try to pull them straight to the outgate.
Yep.
They haven't left 2 metres from the front of the chutes.
Yeah, makes sense.
You've kept them busy and then brought them straight through the outgate.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So
we had the freedom in with the PBR to sort of do that. Like obviously we knew the contractors over the years and sort of knew how to handle certain bulls and what they wanted, what they expected from you. And we had the freedom to just fight them. If we wanted to get in and do a couple of rounds or whatever, but we'd all do it together. You know, it wasn't just one bloke doing it and we sitting back and watching it. So we'd all try and blend it in, and because it does, it just eliminates because at the end of the day we're there to protect.
Yeah.
So it eliminates all the risk when you're doing that, and gets the bull out quicker, keeps the show flowing too. So you want that too. There's a few things that are involved in it when it comes down to it like that.
Because it's hard, like sometimes if you leave them and then they bail up.
They'll just bail up and
that ruins the show.
Yeah, that's right. And then all of a sudden, he's got to get 3 mates out.
Yeah.
And then they're fighting, and then it's just a big, bit of a mess. So, yeah, mate, if we could fight them and get them out, get them quick, and keep everything rolling and running, that's the sort of how we wanted to do it.
Have you ever done any freestyle or?
Nah, it's funny. Like, we got invited once at the start. Like, PBR offered us to go over and do something along them lines over there, and I bailed up straight up. I said, I'm not. That's not my game. I'm not. If there's a fella on the ground, I can help him out. But But over the years from that period, got a little bit fitter and looked after my nutrition and stuff like that. Got a little bit more lighter on my feet, a bit more lively, and I didn't mind. I didn't mind. I had the confidence of the confidence of stepping around bulls a bit more, and didn't do any schools to learn like a proper fake or whatever. Just it was all by accident, trial and error, mate, like getting smoked and
that works.
And that, so there was a few times at the start because I thought I knew how to do it. Didn't really know, and then you work out, just as we were saying before, like just watching film and the old fellas like that, they were the best at it. Like back in the day, especially the old freestyle fellas, like just watching them how they moved, how they did it, and really selling it. Like different playing footy or trying to do it to a human because they're trying to anticipate it, whereas the bull just wants to come. He just wants the action, and you can really sell it. And I got a right at doing it just to protect myself out in the middle. Like you get out in the middle of Mount Isa, mate. She's a lonely. She's a lonely spot. Like, and if something's out there that's pretty hot, there's a long way to a fence or a chute. You know, you can't just. So you got to learn how to sort of get about on your own accord. But yeah, but as far as freestyle, mate, nah, nothing real serious to the point where I'd be confident enough to go and do something like what they do. But yeah.
Have you had any good hookings over the years?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Any that stand out?
Probably, I'll tell you one. It was probably the most annoying one. Is I got hit. I broke my tailbone at Mackay PBR.
That hurts, eh?
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst I've had, other than the next one I'll tell you. But the tailbone part, I thought it entered me. Like I thought like the feeling that I had, and it lifted me. He only had little horns. He just lifted me up.
Just got you.
And just kept, but I didn't move, and he just kept sort of, and then threw me, and then I got up, and it was the worst pain, and for like the following fortnight. So you couldn't sit straight, you're always moving. And I had a job interview that next week, and I just looked like the biggest idiot. I was moving around the whole time, trying to get pressure off.
And you can't tell them either.
You can't tell, yeah, and there's nothing you can really do about it because it's just got to heal, and it's the smallest bone on your body. Yeah, that was one of the more annoying ones, the painful ones. But I copped one in the jaw at Harvey Bay PBR. And that was probably the worst one. Like, as far as the recovery, like just eating liquids and stuff like that. Like it was and it was a heavy night. Like we had a lot to do that night, and it was the very last bull of the event. And Disco Duck, I'm pretty sure it was. I think Framey might have bred him, and yeah, the very last bull of the event, and I just got a little bit too cocky, and I sort of went to give him a bit of a clout.
Yeah.
And he drug his head from back here and brought it up. He only had little knobby horns, and one of them went into my neck, busted it open, and shattered all my jaw on the other side.
Wow.
Lifted me into the chute, and lifted me about a foot off the ground or so. Yeah, just. And then he just didn't want anything. He just stood there, but he
just trotted off.
Yeah, just turned around and went and. But yeah, that was probably the worst one. The recovery, like, it didn't knock me out. I probably wish it did. Like the concussion that I had after, like, made me crook and spewing up and all that. Oh yeah, I was in a bad way. And the worst thing was though, last bull, you know, like, and I had a very, very busy night. Like there was a lot of hits taken and lot of shit we had to go through just to get to that point. and yeah, I was there. We went there, just me and the missus, and ended up in hospital all night in Harvey Bay, and getting flown then to Brisbane, the Max Fax, whatever they call it, getting the face done up in the plates, and still got the 6 broken teeth in my head now. I should have got them fixed, but I never did. But
well, that was me last time in Rocky was for the PBR New Year's.
Yeah.
And had a bull jump on me and crush me bowel. So that was on the first night, and then so I'm seeing in the New Year's in the hospital watching the PBR on a laptop. I'm like,
oh mate, yeah. Well, even like after that initial hit, when I got up, when I sort of was in the chute, and I had rocks in my mouth, and I was spitting them out. They were bits of teeth, because you can tell. I could tell that they were like you feel your own teeth in your mouth. It's different to a rock. I was like, so yeah, that's probably when you ask the question. That's probably the worst one, mate. Yeah, as far as, but just heaps of other little things. I've always had bad knees, bad ankles, and getting fingers dislocated and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
just all niggly stuff.
Just niggly stuff, really. But yeah, the jaw and the tailbone is probably the worst. Yeah.
What's obviously being in the arena, what's the best bull ride you've seen in person, you reckon?
Oh, mate.
Or there might be a couple.
Yeah, listen, a lot of them leave me, but probably the most influential one, or whatever, that sticks with me is, and it's not even the greatest bull ride in the world. It's when me good mate Jared won Mount Isa.
Yeah.
So we were working together out at Blackwater underground, and he went to Mount Isa riding bulls, and yeah, I think that was, I can't even remember the name of the bull, but it was one of Brandy's.
Yeah.
And I remember going up to the shoot, and I said, "You want to ride bulls? Let's ride this fucking thing." You know, like.
Yeah, smash it.
Yeah, yeah. And that was probably the one that sticks out with me the most, just because of what it was. You know, like
it was your friend and
want to be
everything
good
built
mates,
up.
and he rode the shit out of it. Yeah, and he ended up winning the
Winning the whole
mighty
deal.
Mount Isa. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was one that sticks with me the most.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fellas, and I ask them that, and then it's like, it doesn't have to be the 90-point ride. It's whatever meant the most.
Yeah.
Or like, it's just, there's so many other factors.
Yeah, that come into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because you've had fellas and they've come back from this and this, and then they
That's
go and
right.
spank one,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, that's pretty incredible. 'Cause
Means
you know,
a fair bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you know what's going on outside. Like, if everything's working and then you just ride it, it's always good. But when you know fellas that are doing it tough and then they come back and they spank one, it's like, fuck,
definitely.
that's rank.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's cool to see. It
Yeah.
pumps you up more because you know, like, the journey for them to get back to
Yeah,
that.
that's right. That's right. And because I was fighting bulls with him too, so
Yeah.
you know, and I said, "You want to ride bulls? You know, let's fucking ride this cunt." Or,
And then
you know.
you got the best seat in the house
That's
too,
right,
getting
yeah.
to watch it.
Yeah, no,
on
it
the
was a
dirt.
good. Yeah, no, it was unreal. And Mount Isa was a hard one to win.
Oh,
Like, they
yeah.
all want to win it, so yeah.
Well, they get plenty of entries.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll take a little break and then we'll get back into it.
No worries.
Ozcan Rural, providing Southwest Victoria with everything related custom sheep and cattle yards. Get in touch with the fellas via email ozcanrural@gmail.com. That's AUS, can like the one you drink, rural@gmail.com. Building fences straighter than your local politician. So welcome back, mate.
Yeah.
So, with your long career, who was someone that helped you out along the road, or a few of them?
Definitely. Well, from the get-go, mate. I'd have to thank like my dad.
Yeah.
I reckon originally, like just giving me the
Support
start and the
and-
support. You know, he always never pushed me in any direction for whatever it was at school or whether it was footy or radioing or you know what. He just wanted me to be a good person, I think, and that's what sort of got me going, give me work ethic and stuff like that.
Was that a good example for now that you're a father?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Yeah, like didn't just your average sort of bushy sort of dad as you could imagine,
Yeah, just a hard man,
worked hard and didn't mind a beer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, just you had to toe the line and do the right things and didn't cop dickheads or anything too much sort of thing. But yeah, just for helping me with working cattle and stuff like that when I was a kid, like just being around, and I probably wouldn't have never done anything in the rodeo world if it wasn't for him. Seeing old photos on the wall of him buckles bouncing around the house and stuff like that, like it probably wouldn't have amounted to much if it wasn't for him. But other than him, mate, to start it off, like when I first moved here, when I started to live with Chongy, so Darryl Chong, he got me going, like pretty much got me kick-started.
And he was your window into the PBR.
Yeah. Well, he was my window into everything, mate. So he backed me through thick and thin with, like, he sort of must have been able to see that I had a little bit in me.
Yeah.
And just sort of took a long time, like took a while, but he got it out of me, And he gave me the avenues to be able to do that. And from there, it's just, mate, the Mara brothers, so Jason and Troy Mara, I worked with them for a couple of years. And they helped me with anything rodeo. Or mate, I could bring Jason up now and ask for any advice, day-to-day advice, And moving on from them, mate, it's just the fellas I worked with, I can't say how lucky I am to have the teammates that I had, like, in that sort of short period, the 10 years that I was there at the top sort of deal in Australia, like, mate, I got to work with them all. Like in my eyes, like they're the best
in
of the best.
your era, you got to fight with the best.
Yeah, mate, and it made my job easier, made our job easier, and it was just so a lot of fun. Like with Jared Bagero, one of my best mates. He's one of the best bullfighters I've seen.
Yeah,
or whatever. And
I had him on just before you.
Yeah, right.
And he said the same. He said, I said, who was the best guy you work with? And he goes, I wouldn't run anyone else down. He's like, but he mentioned you because you were such good mates.
Yeah.
That he goes, I knew exactly what he was going to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So then
the
he
same
goes,
way,
it made
yeah.
it feel so much
And
easier.
it went the same both ways. Like I think we were saying before, like I could sort of half tell what he was thinking, which is a bit wild at times. Don't worry, but I could know that if the bull rider's on the ground on the other side of me,
Jared's
going to get run over. Yeah, like I just knew, so I had to be ready to deal with that situation after the fact. And then
come and try to clean up.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and just try and clean up whatever mess may occur. But yeah, him, mate, with moving on from him, like Mitch Russell, you can't get a better bloke or a better bullfighter, to do an event with. Like he's just that cruisy, that easy going, and one of the nicest blokes you'll ever meet. Well, you know yourself.
Yeah.
And Jeff Hall, did 2 years with him. Like there was only a short stint, but it was good. Like he could fight the shit out of him, and we just sort of bounced around and just gelled. Like we just could. Anything that would happen, it wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter the occasion. We just handle it, sort of thing. And you had that mentality, and we were sort of unbeatable.
Yeah.
And which is the sort of mentality that you sort of got to have. Like, because if you go in there like half-heart, like you don't. Yeah.
It's pretty dangerous.
You just make it a little bit worse for yourself and everyone else. But yeah, we had the mentality like, well, fuck it didn't matter what bull or what, because we treated them all the same. Yeah.
Bull, it wouldn't matter.
And but mate, to rattle off a couple of quick ones, like Dan Roberts got to do Mount Isa with him. He's a bit of a legend around the traps. Got to fight with Lincoln Brown. He was pretty cool to learn off back when I first started. And obviously Chongi and other fellas that I mentioned, like I can't say how lucky I was just in that era. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was, we touched on it outside. You were there the night Sam had his accident.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
you said
so at the Western,
you said that sort of flicked the switch in you too?
Yeah, it was sort of like just a wake-up call, I think, for everyone. That not just me or whatever, but everyone that's seen it, that was there live, I got to witness it. It was like, fucking, because this shit can happen, and there's nothing saying that it can't happen more often or it can't happen less or whatever, but it can, and it will. If someone's in the wrong position. And I had, after leaving that, like being there firsthand, it was just bad luck. Nothing I could do in my power, like with the way that he fell.
Yeah, just the
under
way
the ball and the foot come down in that exact space.
You do it. You replay it 1,000 times.
There's nothing you can. There's nothing you can do about. Like there's just the fucking worst of the worst sort of circumstances. But from that day, it was like I'll be fucked if there's ever a time if I can control it.
Yeah.
If I can control it, I'm not gonna be able to fucking not do something about it.
Yeah,
and
there's no way.
It sort of kicked me into gear again and kept me sort of
Because there's no way you're gonna have that on your conscience.
No way. No way. Yeah, not any chance. No. Like there's been times since the fellas get hurt and the same sort of deal. Went in like bad luck or whatever and something happens, but not to the point where it's detrimental as that. Yeah. And you're like fucking. God knows, like you wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Like you know what I mean? Like if it was on your on your terms, sort of deal. Like if it gets flicked out in the arena, gets run over and fucking But I said to myself, there's no way someone would on my watch. I'd be busting my ass.
And was that probably played a role into it when you knew when to pull it up?
Definitely, mate. Yeah, when I pulled up, I was considered pretty young, obviously pretty young. I wasn't even 31 or 30 at the time. And I just had my son, and I got to the point where I could make a finals in Townsville, take photos with my son, experience that whole deal, and I was full, mate. I played that game with that much intensity. Like I wanted to be as best as I could be, or not to beat anyone else or do anything better than anyone, but I wanted to do as best I could every time.
Yeah.
And there's only so much juice you can squeeze, I reckon. Like,
Yeah.
you know what, like,
Yeah,
honestly.
definitely.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I thought that, you know, if there was any time I could walk away on my own two legs without someone else telling me that I can't do it anymore, it was probably that time. And, you know, trying to build things outside of that world as well, like building a house and
Yeah.
working a full-time job and kids and stuff like that. So that's the other thing that was sort of my wife. So she was there from the start, and I put her through enough. Right, she was there the night I broke my jaw, and through every other little whinge and niggle and injury I've ever had. And she's a nurse, so she doesn't need to listen to me whinging about being hurt at home when she cops it all day. But mate, she's there from the get-go. Like from the day, sort of from the week that I moved here, I met her, and that was when it sort of kicked off. And she knew just as much about bullfighting by the end of it as what I did, because she watched it and seen me, and she'd comment and she'd say, "Oh, what happened here? What happened there? Or where, that was good, or that was fucking ordinary, or whatever." You know, like. But yeah, mate, she supported me from the get-go through everything. Like, did not once try to talk me out of anything or into anything. She just said, if they want you to do it, you know, they must think you're good enough or whatever. And it was, she's been there through the fucking shit and made the good times even better. Yeah, it was good.
And so you've got 2 kids on the ground, and
got another one coming. Yeah. So
congratulations.
Soon to be 3. Yeah, cheers. Yeah.
And you got to be done then, or you're going to keep?
Yeah, I'd say so, mate. We'll regather and see how things go with 3, and I reckon that that might have us hit the quota, I reckon. Yeah.
Well, lucky you used to run around wild Brahmins there. Got a few
mate, they're nothing compared to these couple I've got at home at the moment. No, it's flat out, but it's good. No, it's good.
And so, what's next for Clint Kelly?
Within rodeo, mate, I've had very little to do with it, just for what I said before, just kids and trying to get life on track and doing a little bit, set myself up a little bit. So, but I wouldn't mind getting involved with young fellas, like it's hard to find these days, young fellas that are involved, that are keen. But if there is anyone, you know, I don't mind answering questions. Yeah. You know, if they got queries or fucking anything, you know. But I've got a school next year that they want me to do.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. If I can do it, hopefully I can.
Yeah.
So that's next year, and I want to be able to just bounce around and do little things like that, and just help out anyone that's wants them, because the industry sort of needs it a little bit too. Like there's not
there's not a lot of young fellas coming through.
Not that you can sort of see. Well, not around here or whatever, but they sort of need a pathway where they can just sort of, even if it's just someone to ask questions and bounce off, you know, like information and where do I go, what do I do, who do I contact,
do I start?
Who do I contact, or but yeah, that's.
And is the school thing something you'd be interested in doing more of?
Yeah, mate. Like if anyone's
any committee or something.
Yeah, like it's hard because you need like the other side, like the riding school, to be able to in conjunction.
Both.
Yeah, so it's sort of hard, and there's not many of them around these days either. But yeah, something along them lines, mate. If I can sort of just stay involved that bit, just to keep things ticking over, it'd be pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's one of them sports that it's good and well, but you also want to give back as much as you take.
Yeah, definitely. And it goes so quick. Like, mate, it was only the other day I felt like I was starting, when I was 17 or 18, and then all of a sudden I'm 31. And then,
it goes quick.
And then it goes so quick. And you look back and there were things that you knocked back or didn't do or whatever, and you're like, oh, well, maybe I should have, or whatever. But yeah, it flies by. So you got to take the chances as they come, and don't let them sort of go to waste.
And with the kids, are they going to start rodeoing or still not?
Oh, mate, I've got I'm going to sort of travel and down the same road as whatever makes them happy. Like it doesn't matter what they want to do, whether it's
just role model the way you
just support them in what decisions they make, and as long as they're having fun and being yeah,
Yeah.
happy with
Being
it.
good people.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, that's right. And yeah, radio, footy, that doesn't matter. I'll support them through whatever they want to do.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for taking the time. And I'll
No
see
worries,
you down
mate.
the road.
Thank
you very much.
Cheers.
Cowboy.
Thanks for having me.